I'm old school like Vine, no, and we made it to a final, no, and I'm loving it like McDonald, no. On Arsenal, really wanna talk about ESL when they can't get past Villarreal. Are you for real? Better just hope this L. I'm old school like Vine, no, and we made it to a final, no, and I'm loving it like McDonald, no. On Arsenal, really wanna talk about ESL when they can't get past Villarreal. Are you for real? Better just hope this L. Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, we're back again with another show. I'm with my boy NK. It's your boy Firms, and we are about to get into the drama tonight as it unfolded. Look, well, in the UK it's tonight, where NK is just kind of bright, as you can see. Yo, look, I ain't gonna lie, that game, NK stressed me out, because I was thinking, this is the reason why we're not in Champions League. Exactly the reason why we're not in Champions League. Why we're playing in this reball of a cup. Because United just ain't got the mentality. We're not there. And for me, I look at it, and you know, I can only compare us to the noisy neighbours. We're the noisy ones now. It's because regardless, they're ruthless and they get the job done. In a game like this, they'll be trying to break the record of goal aggregate, while us, we can't even keep the ball for more than 5 passes, and then it just becomes a game of a tennis match. But yo, do you know what? Give you an example. You already know I stand in it in my little intro, but yeah, give me what you thought of the game.
Yeah, as I said to you today, this game, I feel first of all we have to thank David here. If it wasn't for him today, we would have easily considered literally like 5-6 today.
Massively.
Before the game, I said like there's no way Roma gonna score like 3-4 goals, and they needed to win like 4-0. They could have literally scored 4 goals
easily.
Regardless of what you scored, they could have scored 4 goals easily. They were hitting the post. I mean, De Gea made a save in the first minute of the game.
Yeah,
that's how poor we are. And going forward, this is just to show you going forward, like we don't have a midfield to control a game. We never have a midfield to control a game. And you have seen that in all our games. Like the second goal, Fred tried to do a skill right there, and then they got the ball and then they concede. Man United, there are 3 ways Man United conceded a goal. Fred losing the ball, corner kicks, and we getting hit on the counter-attack. Literally,
Yeah.
So it's something they need to fix, because our midfield was so poor. Pogba, I think we need to forget about playing Pogba in that midfield. It don't work for him that way. Today, he was very poor. He was very poor, and people are going to question like, oh, Pogba was very poor. But if you play a person in a different position, he'll have a good game, and then you switch him there, then you have to say, okay, that's not his best position. But the only problem is if you don't play him in the middle too, and then you go play him on the wings, our 2 midfielders too, it's not good. But I tell you what, in the finals, it's going to be McFred in the final. That is for sure.
For 100%, it's going to be McFred, 110%. And it does add more balance. I ain't going to lie. For me, it's just not enough with the current team that we've got to go on and win like your Premier Leagues or your elite trophies. You know what I mean? I can't even bring myself to talk about Champions League, because it just doesn't make any sense. And I feel like they do bring us the best balance, but I don't know what that balance will look like once you get your Sanchos. Like if you got your Sanchos and you play the Pogba on the left, Sancho on the right, Cavani up top going into the new season, if he can stay fit, what that would look like for a title charge or Champions League. I don't know what that would look like, but for what we've got right now, with our centre-back issue maybe in terms of their being the elite list, I just think everything could be improved a level in all areas of the pitch. Up top, midfield, defence. It can all be improved, and we need to find a way of how we do that. But you know what? I think you've already mentioned who your man of the match is. This is something I usually do last, but I'm going to mention it now. So who was your man of the match? I think you've already made it clear.
Yeah, it was, to be honest with you, it was between Cavani, because once again, Cavani got 2 goals, he played well. He just tell you, in our team, if you give him a chance, Cavani, he will score. He was very good. He took his chance very kind of like good. And boy, David De Gea, because after today's performance, it just makes you question why people want him out. You know, because I don't think Henderson is ready to be Man United number one.
He would have let in a couple goals there for
he
sure.
would have let a couple of goals inside too. And to be honest with you, I feel like the way Oli rotated them, it kind of suits David now. Because let's face it, he got a cup final to play now. Henderson ain't got nothing to play, and he was the person who was supposed to play the finals, you know? Yeah, like the Premiership is like literally no one really care about the Premiership for us no more. We don't even care about it no more. So Henderson gets to play that, and then De Gea is gonna play the cup final for us. Hopefully he win it for us, but I don't know. I know he made a couple of mistakes and everything, but I don't see Henderson being our number one, you know? I feel like David still deserves to be our number one going into next season. He was very super today. He was the gear of the old, you know, like, you know, when LVG was there and he literally won us point. Today, we are in the final because of him. He was making save with his leg. There was one ball, he saved with his leg, it hit the post. And I'm thinking, what is going on here today? You know, he saved, I think he made like about 7 good saves today.
He did. And that's the thing of, like, again, I keep reiterating how the mentality of our team is just not ready. We get very complacent. And you know, us Man United fans, sometimes when we go on a good run or we beat a team convincingly like this, 6-2, you look at it and you start to think, you know, maybe we can drop guys, we can rest guys. But then you see it today that we played a very strong team, you know. Donny isn't that sharp at the moment, but we played a very strong team, and you can see how, you know, we needed that team, because imagine having to play a weakened team. Most of your team, 70% is weakened, and then trying to bring stars on and potentially going down 4 goals. It would have just been a nightmare. It would have been the biggest shot. Like, this was a potential banana skin, just like how it has been with the RB Leipzig, just how it was with Basakshir, whatever the team is. No disrespect. Just like it was with all of these shambles, this one was set up to be a massive banana skin, massive shambles. But we managed to get out of it because we've got quality on the pitch like Cavani, because we've got the Brunos that were able to get the goals, and DDG obviously. So my man of the match here, at first when I was watching the game in the first half, it was Eric Bailly, because what he was doing was amazing for me. I'm just like, why is this guy like not starting every game? I mean, he was doing his pirouettes on the ball again, turns, like leaving guys for dead, running up the pitch, doing his thing. It just looked very comfortable. But then as the game went on, obviously we looked a shambles. You know, we were looking like we were defensively frail. And we lost all composure defensively. And then it moved on to obviously Cavani. You know, he's a goal scoring machine right about now. But then I have to give it to David De Gea, because without David De Gea, we could be out right now. We could be pulling our hair out right now. We could be protesting for another reason.
He was good. But today, you know what? It was classic Man United. And you know what? In the interview, I love what Oli said. And Oli said it straight. Oli said, we went through because we played good for 30 minutes in the first leg, and that's why we are through. And if you look at the whole season, we have been like that, you know. So I think going forward, we need someone, because we have never taken control of the game. And today's game has made me a bit worried going to the finals now. You know, after the first leg, I think, okay, you know what? I don't care what team comes in, we're gonna beat them. But after seeing that kind of like performance today, and if you get a team that can keep the ball position very good and they're very good attacking too, which I feel like Villarreal, they kind of like pass the ball very good. I worry about how our midfield is gonna do, and we need individual brilliance. Touch wood, we don't get no injuries. Like, you know, we have a fully free squad. If you have a fully free squad, I feel like individually we should probably like kind of like get it today. But it's always moments for us, you know, just moments for us.
What did you think of so just moving on to sort of the lineup? Obviously, Oli tried something new today. We've seen Eric Bailly do his things centre back, but he tried something new with Donny van der Beek being on the left-hand side where Pogba usually plays, or well, of recent anyway. For me, I just thought it didn't quite work. I didn't see him being as influential or impactful or effective on that left like Pogba is. And it's raising the question for me of how do we use this guy? Because Bruno's not going anywhere in his position, right? He's playing like Maguire 99% of games. Donny, we've played him in midfield, it's not quite working out. On the wing, it's not quite working out. How do we get the best out of him? Or do we move him on? Is he gonna get sold? What's it looking like? What's his future looking like?
The only way you get the best out of Donny is you have to sell him. It's as simple as that. You have to sell him because he's today, and this is what I'm trying to say. This is one thing about Oli today. When I saw the lineup, I felt like, oh, he's gonna play diamond today because there is no way. I did not see him trying to play Donny on the left-hand side. That was the last thing I thought he was gonna do, And it's just a bit about Pogba too. Like when you play those kind of players out of position, you're gonna have a bad game out of them. First of all, he's not playing well. He hasn't been playing, so he needs time to kind of get his rhythm. And then you stick him on the left, and then he does this rotation with Bruno, and you can see the chemistry between him and Bruno is just not there at all. He's like a one-touch kind of player, and it's not there. And here is the thing: he want to play at attacking midfield. I don't think he's good enough like Bruno to get both the assists and the goals. And if Bruno was to get injured, and we have players there, if Bruno was to get injured, I would rather shift Pogba to play in that number 10 role, play Rashford on the left, and then either Martial or Greenwood on the right, than to play Van der Beek in the number 10. So right now, I don't know where his best position is. Honestly, I would sell him next season, get the money, and go get defensive midfielder because I feel like there's a space for a defensive midfielder more than there's a space for him because we got a lot of players to kind of cover that attacking position than it is for him. Because I don't know, today he played on the left-hand side, he just didn't do nothing. There was one pass that I saw he done over the top and he didn't even really reach Greenwood and stuff. He just doesn't, he's not what we need. I would say he's a bit like the situation we had with Lindegaard, They're just there, they're not going to be better than Bruno. And if they get their all chances too, they're just not going to make an impact on the team. If anybody would go on. Is
it because he's not getting enough? Are we being too harsh on the guy, first and foremost? Because this guy, when he does come on the pitch, he literally, today he got a decent amount he started, but that's very rare. In the whole of this season, how many starts can we say Donny van der Beek's had? How many times, even when he's come off the bench, how many minutes has he had? Are we being too harsh on Donny? Is it that he literally hasn't had? Because I can imagine half of these players in our squad, if they had the amount of minutes that Donny had, would they be performing?
It's not. To be honest with you, I feel like even if he had a lot of minutes, he wouldn't be perform anyways because the style we play just don't suit him. He is the kind of player that I feel like he likes to play in a team that get more of the ball, to dominate the ball, He likes his one-touch football and move and stuff like that. The whole counter-attacking kind of football that we do don't suit him. Our team is not good with the ball anyways. So when he get a ball, he just kind of I don't know if the Premiership is a bit kind of too fast for him or not, but I just don't see our team is just not the team for him because the players that we got around him don't play the kind of football that he want to play,
See, that's interesting because Donny van der Beek, Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, Cavani play that tiki-taka style. They can make it work, right? For me, when I looked at Donny van der Beek, I thought clearly the left side is not your position. However, if Donny van der Beek was playing in that number 10 role where Bruno Fernandes plays, and he's got Pogba who's always drifting in anyway, that can feed into him, and he's got Cavani who's very good with the link-up play, I feel like Donny, we probably would have saw a better performance out of him. I just thought that it was so isolated out on that wing, right? The ball it was just non-existent in a game.
Yeah, but the thing about, if you see Bruno, and today, for example, Bruno was kind of swapping positions with Van der Beek a lot of the times, and even with, you look at Pogba too, even when Pogba play on the left or middle, players who play in the number 10 position, one thing that they are good at is they always do the direct ball. They are always looking for that dangerous ball. Van der Beek never look for that dangerous ball. He always just want to keep it very simple and tidy. He just, as I said to you, he liked to play in that position football where they use the passing to kind of like move players around, you know. I have not seen him give like a true pass to say, oh, you know what, that is a kind of like a true pass. So even if he get that chance in that number 10 position, I don't see him putting his stamp onto the team like how Bruno have done or how Pogba would do it, you know. I feel for him because, I don't know, maybe if we do play that 3 in the midfield, you know, maybe Pogba on the left and then him on the right, maybe that could work, but then you kind of like sacrificing Bruno. I feel like Bruno is very good on the number 10, so that we will never change formation. Let's just say that. I don't see United changing formation because the formation bring the best out of Bruno.
I think, and I think Bruno, for one, his weakness is that he does too many killer passes and he loses the ball. You want to keep him as high up the pitch as possible than having him lose the ball where players can just be having a run at our defense, like, quite easily. Secondly, it's just like, because his outputs are so high with his assists and his goals, dropping him and moving him from that position is almost suicidal because you could potentially be cutting his goals down dramatically if you do that. But I've always pondered that thought, and I guess this is where De Bruyne's differ to your Bruno Fernandes. De Bruyne can play in multiple positions and do it well. He can hold up the ball well. He can control. He can boss the midfield. He controls possession well. Bruno's not that type of guy. So I was thinking, wait, can you potentially play a Pogba in that role for certain games and bring Bruno further back? Can you play Donny van der Beek further up in that number 10 role and bring Bruno back certain times? Bruno, he works hard, he runs and everything, but he's keeping the ball possession. And like I said, you're stripping away those goals when you're bringing them deeper, and assists potentially is too much of a risk to take and too much of an impact that will probably have on our team. So it's a hard one for Donny. It's a hard one for him.
I feel if they get a good bid, they're selling. But I don't really see any team out there. They would try they would try and get him on loan, you know. They would try and get him on loan. I don't see no one really coming in there to try and get to try and buy him. They will always try to kind of like get him on loan. But I don't know. Well, let's see how next season goes. I don't see him getting a lot of minutes as he's gonna get next season. I don't see him getting a lot of the minutes that he's gonna get. And what's the point of getting the minutes if he's gonna be out of play? He can't play the deep position because let's face it, Pogba can't play there. He can also play there too because he's not really good at tackling the ball and everything. If they can get a good deal for him, like 30, 40 million, I say sell him and go look for a defensive midfielder, to be honest, or do a swap deal. You know, it's Corona season, do a swap deal for him and someone else.
And that could probably work because there was a lot of teams that was after and Real Madrid also wanted him. But, you know, there's no one that Real Madrid have that we want other than Mr. Varane himself. So if that can pull that off, that could be good business. But, you know, we'll have to see. I mean, there's good work that we can do, creative work in the market we can do with our assets. If, you know, the opportunity arises, you know, we can make that happen. But let me just get onto Cavani again, man, because that guy Cavani, man, I saw the Fred out. I ain't gonna miss Fred because Fred did that whole outside of the boot pass. He tried to. He thought it was Bruno Fernandes for a second. He thought it was Bruno. So he sat up. But Cavani, you see Cavani, right? Cavani is a proper number 9, man. And like, you know what? Watching today's game, and I've watched like many other games, there's nobody, and I heard them saying it in commentary earlier, just before I came on. We ain't got, Scholes was saying it, we ain't got a number 9 like Cavani. Rashford is not a number 9. He can't say it. He's not a number 9. He's a winger. Greenwood, he even said Greenwood's a wide man, that he's not a centre forward. And then obviously Martial. Like, we've got these guys that are not number 9s, and we do need a long-term solution. Cavani epitomizes what a true number 9 centre forward is for us. He really does.
And you know, Cavani is giving us a taste of what we want, you know. And if we get a player like him who stays, like, can play majority of the game, like how Bruno play and how Maguire play and stuff like that, we will be fed up. We will be fed up, like, challenging for the title. Because Martial is not that type of player. I feel like Martial is the kind of a striker that would do more better playing a 4-4-2, you know, behind a striker, because he's not the kind of like guy to just be out there. His link-up play is good, but when it comes to just that movement of getting to the box, he doesn't know where to be at the right time. That's my short thing, you know. So it was also interesting because Oli2 was talking about he has to sit down at the end of the season and then discuss with Greenwood to find out next season whether he stay on the right-hand side or if he move into like the middle of the pitch. Because but then he was saying like, oh, he's a pretty boy, so he will not stick his head in there to kind of like score the goal. So I feel like he's looking for a striker. He is definitely looking for that kind of like striker, like the Cavani type. And at the moment, there's only two types that are there, you know, Harry Kane and Haaland. And apart from that, I don't care where you look. I haven't seen a lot of players that will kind of come and have that kind of like impact that he done. He scored 2 goals. He scored 2 goals in the first leg. He scored 2 goals again too in the second leg too. As I said to you, this running that's coming, give that guy enough rest as possible because we need him in the finals. There are some key players that if they play in the finals, we win. And I know what the lineup is going to be anyways. I think everybody know what the lineup is going to be. You know, it's going to be Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, they here and then Luke Shaw. You got McFred, Pogba on the left, Rashford on the right, Cavani, and then Bruno. If we get those key players fit, I don't see Villarreal winning that game.
No,
so we have to keep him fit. We have to keep him fit, definitely.
No, I feel like we'll win that. I feel like we'll win that game, especially if that starting lineup. I think our biggest worry will be if Cavani gets injured, like you said. So, but the thing is, he's got a long way away from that final. So I think it's about 20 days from now. I think the final's like on the 25th, 26th. So it's a long time.
Yeah.
So we are going to utilize him and try and keep him ticking. Get him a few minutes here and there because Martial's not going to be around. So it's literally going to be a crocked Rashford, you know, who's also trying to be rested as much as possible, as you saw today as well. And then, you know, Dan James is even injured, so he can't even get minutes in a game like where
Danny James is not even going to get close to that finals. No. He's not going to get close to that finals. But
I mean, he would have been useful for a game like this just to get him a few minutes, you know, against Roma. True. You know, because he's a guy that you can trust not to win you a game or to, you know, score many goals, but he's a guy that you can trust that will, you know, he's got a good work rate. It will track back at least. You know, your team's not going to be 5 or 6 goals down or something like. You ain't got to worry it being because of him. Like, if anything, he's going to be doing a lot of running, a lot of graft. So I think Oli trusts him more than he does actually with Amad Diallo and all of these guys at the moment.
I was shocked that Ahmed didn't even get game time today too. I was very shocked that he didn't get game time today, you know. I don't know. Hopefully in the running, Oli's going to go play them too, because it just makes me question Oli. Even with today, with Pogba starting, I feel like he should have just rested Pogba to begin with, because Pogba was on a yellow card. He was on a yellow card. I remember telling you he was on a yellow, and I remember like the first half of the game was just kind of very relaxed, you know, because we didn't really see them like do anything. But you know, when they scored the first goal and they scored the second goal and it became like 2-1, they nearly made it 3-1. Just like that in like quick succession. And then the game became scruffy. I remember one time Pogba done a sliding tackle, and I'm thinking, only need to take this guy off, because Roma looked like they're trying to bring the game. The intensity was just starting to like build up. And that's when you're going to see tackles flying in. I say, you do not want a player like Pogba to miss the final, because that is going to be a big problem for us, you know.
Massive.
And I'm thinking, when are you going to take him out? He done the first 2 substitutions where he took the 2 fullbacks off. I don't know why he took those fullbacks off. I would have made them finish the game and then play the 2 of them, like Williams and Tellers, like in the Premiership instead, you know. But for some reason, he took him off, which means them 2 are going to start in the Premiership. Why? I don't know. But with the tactics there, I don't know. Only he just needs to be very careful with like his game plan. Just know when to rest players and when not to rest players. He needs to start learning that.
That was my next point. So when everything went wrong for me was when Oli made the substitution to take off Shaw and take off Wan-Bissaka and bring on Tellers. That's when you heard that Pellegrini or running at our fullbacks, cutting in, having shots, you know, crosses were getting whipped in from Brandon Williams and Luke Shaw's sides where they got removed. It was total exposure. And this is where, you know, your Eric Bailly's performance in the second half kind of, he didn't shine as much as he was in the first half. For me, it dwindled, and it was because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made those substitutions. But it brings me on to the point of this. It's just like Telles. I was rooting for Telles to be at Manchester United when we were first linked to this guy. You know, it was Reguilon or Telles. Reguilon had a great season. He's kind of declining a bit now, but he had a great start to the season. Overall, he's had a great season. But I was looking at what Telles was doing in the Portuguese league, and I was like, you know, who was it again? Telles, where did he come from? Was it
Porto?
Porto. And I was just like, yeah, this guy is he's a leader there. You know, he takes the penalties, he scores the goals, great with set pieces, all of that stuff. Good backup, experience as well. And he's coming to the Premier League, and it's obviously a different ball game. And he's probably taken some time to adapt. He hasn't had the worst of seasons. You know, he's played decent when he's come on. But we saw the drop in quality even when Telles, you know, came onto the pitch. I mean, I can understand it for Brandon Williams, but we saw the massive drop in quality of Alex Telles. And this is what worries me with Manchester United, because Manchester United, right, have been using the same 14, 15 players for 2 years running. 2 years running, right? Yeah, we've made a new investment if Cavani and stuff. He's, you know, hit the ground running. But we've been using the same 15 guys. You know, we play, if it's not, like, I can't even tell you, it's either Bailly gets a rarer cameo for centre-back.
Right.
Wan-Bissaka started most of our games. Luke Shaw started most of the games last season and this season. You know, only an injury will keep them out. Like, they don't get rotated, rarely get rotated. You might have a odd Europa League game where Telles, you know, might get some game time. But outside of that, right, you know, it's Martial getting used for Cavani, vice versa. It's Greenwood or Dan James. It is Rashford on the left or Pogba. You know, it's the same crop of players, and there's nobody else that's getting game time. And it is a worry for me, because when these guys, I don't know if it's match fitness or match sharpness, or the fact that the quality is just there. And I'm probably leaning more towards the latter. And when we're making signings, right, we're trying to like cover all of these positions, right? We're talking about going into the summer transfer window of 100 million. We're trying to cover all of these positions, get a defensive midfielder, get a centre back, it was a striker, now it's probably not going to be a striker, get a winger. Who are we really going for? Are we trying to get players just to say, tick a box to say, you know, we've got a position, or we try to get quality? Because we can see at Manchester United, if we're not getting quality, they're not impacting our team. Cavani is the quality that's impacting our team. Any other person's going to be sitting on bench, because under Ole, if he can't coach them to get the best out of them, they're going to be benched. And then we're going to be still sticking with the same 14, 15 guys like we've been doing for the last 2 seasons.
Right. I mean, you just said in there today, that 2 substitution, it was very strange for him to make 2 defensive substitutions like that. It was very strange. I did not see him there, because we didn't really need a fullback to be going forward. We didn't need a fullback to be going forward. That's why I was just trying to say, like, we didn't need to attack, so they could like reserve their energy to say, hey, don't go too much forward, just reserve your energy and just like stay there. So for him to just take both of them off, that's just thing. And if one thing that you have realized about defenders is that there is a lack of leadership in our defense. Maguire don't know how to like take control of the defense to just say, hey, you know what? Because that's what the great centre backs do. The great centre backs, they control it. Yeah. And the goalkeepers to do the same thing too. David De Gea, we've known him not to be like the great kind of a communicator where he say, hey, come here, drop there. That's what sometimes goalkeepers would do. Van der Sar used to do it that way. He used to control that too. And then you go your captains to the centre back, that captains that control them too. Like normally you will see a centre back, if the left back is going too much, they're like, hey, come back here. You come back here to kind of like come back, make sure that it is there. Maguire don't do that a lot. So we need, and then Lindelof too is very quiet anyway. I could tell the guys it's a shy guy. You can tell he doesn't really do too much talking, you know. But he too, he plays, but he don't talk too. He's not really like a communicator there too. So we really need that centre back kind of a partnership, that someone there who's very more organizing. You know how like Bruno is. When you see Bruno get the ball, you see him start pointing to players there. Look, I want you here. We need that in a centre back kind of like thing where they kind of like control the play. So it doesn't matter who play left or who play right. They got that under control, you know. They got that situation under control. Like, hey, you know what? Stay here, do this, do that kind of like thing. So I don't know. I feel like that centre back position is very, very, very key for us. Because today, the minute that change came, it just went there. Maguire looked so lost. That's the thing about Maguire. One day he's good, one day he get lost. And Bayer too, you can just, I don't know, after the second half, you can see that rustiness is there. Like he hasn't played for a very long time. You can just kind of like tell. Tellez, I feel like with him, he need a run of game time to kind of like get used to like the team, get used to like the intensity and everything. He's probably going to be there like next season, but we need to do that rotation. Certain games, I'm not saying change the whole lineup, but for example, certain games, if you're just going to just change Luke Shaw alone and bring Tellez, just do that. But what you don't do is don't change both the fullback and bring 2 new fullback, but then it become a problem. If you're going to do the change, just do 1 change at a time, not like 2 change like that, you know?
No, I hear you. And when you talk about that commanding person in the defense, I was thinking there's one person that we've got in the defense that is very like commands their box, and that is Dean Henderson. I mean, he's the only person. I mean, I'm looking at David De Gea. He's very quiet. I mean, he does shout and stuff when we give away the ball easily and maybe they get a shot on goal like every other keeper would do. But in terms of just generally organizing and telling people what to do, Henderson, I've noticed that in his game. But outside of that, everyone is quiet. David De Gea is quiet. Luke Shaw's quiet. Tellez is new. He's quiet. Barry's quiet. Tuanzebe is even quiet from what I've seen of him. Everyone is quiet. Lindelof's quiet. Wan-Bissaka is the quietest guy alive. And probably the most awkward guy in the interview as well. So it's just, I mean, we literally haven't got anyone outside of Bruno, because even Pogba doesn't really do that on the pitch anyway. So it really is only Bruno Fernandes that's saying, you know what I mean, like, come on, like, which is interesting. It's interesting for a club like Manchester United. You would expect at least three, 4 guys on the pitch to be able to be doing this, you know, to be able to be commanding. We're a big club, you know. But
it's a problem, and with Henderson too, he needs to like end their trust, anyways. You know, to just kind of like do that. Like you can see, like for example, we're doing like Fergie time. You had like the Vidic, the Ferdinand, and then you had Van der Sar. Those players, for example, they had a very strong personality. It doesn't matter whether O'Shea was playing right back. It doesn't matter whether it was West Brom playing there. Like they still had that kind of like control to that, kind of like control the team, because it was all about just talking in. When something don't go, when was the last time you saw Maguire shouted at Lindelof to say, "Hey, stay there"? You know, you don't really see that kind of a thing. Or when did you see like the goalkeeper just go and just shout at them like, "Hey, you know what? You shouldn't do that." You don't really see that with the defense. You don't really see that. The last time I saw someone shout at the player was against Seville when Lindelof made a mistake, and I feel like Bruno was having a go at him, and then I saw Lindelof just tell him like to just like shut up or something like that. But normally you should be doing that when a player make a mistake or like that. You should be on the. That's what players do. You fight on the pitch. You just tell them like, look, don't do that. Like literally, don't do that. You're supposed to show that kind of like thing on the pitch, and none of our defensive guys don't do that. They just don't do that at all. I don't see that, and it's a problem that we need to address, because only give the players freedom for them to be able to like express themselves onto the pitch. And one of the things that I feel only need from his players, he need them to kind of like have the football brain, and he need them to kind of like have that kind of like command to be able to kind of like control the game to on the pitch to do like during the situation. And we don't seem to have a lot of that at all.
And that's the thing. I mean, this transfer window is going to be crazy. It's going to be interesting as well, because even with the players that I know that we've been linked to, you know, the ones that I'm probably more certain about that we'll get, like Sancho. He's not that type of player either. He's a good talent. He's, you know, like Rashford is or whatever, but he's not a leader. He doesn't dictate sort of actions on a pitch. He doesn't do that. So he's not that type of guy. And then you got your Declan Rice, who maybe he's I guess is more of a leader. You know, he's captain at West Ham. You know, he can bring that sort of leadership qualities into the Manchester United dressing room. So maybe he could be a good shout, but even then he's still very young. And when you're moving from a team like West Ham to Manchester United, are you still going to come with that sort of persona, that sort of attitude? Are you going to be a small fish in a big pond sort of? Are you going to be one of those things like, is he still going to be able to maintain that level of, I don't know, that persona? Is it going to carry him, go with him at Manchester United? I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see like who we actually go for, because I know there's a lot of rumors and all of this stuff. But do you know what? De Gea's performance though made me think, like you were saying earlier, that he's someone that losing Pogba and losing David De Gea, and I think I've heard some recent good news about Pogba anyway, but losing David De Gea, losing Pogba is too much. You're losing World Cups, you're losing Europa League trophies, you're losing Premier League trophies. And really and truly, I think outside of David De Gea winning the Premier League, only one other person's won the Premier League in this squad, and that guy is Phil Jones. And you don't see that guy. So, it's going to be massive losing him. Massive.
Yeah.
I don't think our fans kind of realize it. Trying to win trophies right now, the reason why we're struggling so much is because the lack of experience in the squad of winning Premier League trophies, We won Europa League, which is why we're still in the Europa League tournament, which is why we got booted out of Champions League. We need experience, the people that know how to do it,
Right.
And when you're just losing them like De Gea or not getting Pogba over the line, then that's making us even in a worse position. It really is. And I just don't think a lot of our fans acknowledge that or realize that. I think people are quick to say, bring in Henderson, get this big wage off our bill, or take off Pogba anyway, without fully deep in what I could do.
Right. Because if you look at the players that we have anyways, I'm not sure Lindelof was part of the squad that won the Europa League. I'm not sure whether he was part or not. Maybe he was part. Yeah, he was part. But even our captain has not won no trophy. And that's our captain, Yeah. So this is when it becomes crucial. Like, even in games like today, when it kind of going tough and stuff like that, he's supposed to say, come on, we can do it and stuff like that. He don't have the experience of winning anything, you know. Pogba got experience of winning the World Cup, so he's been there. So, on the day of the final, that's when you're going to kind of see the feeling. The final was one. We got a manager who hasn't been in the final before, so his preparation is going to be we have to study how his preparation is going to be. Our captain hasn't been in a final before. Wan-Bissaka hasn't been in a final before. So you're going to have a lot of Fred. I don't know whether Fred was there when we won it. I don't think he was there. No, he wasn't there.
Europa League.
Yeah, Europa League, because that was Mourinho's first season. Fred wasn't there. I don't even think Lindelof was there, because Lindelof didn't come on the first season. I think Lindelof came on the second season. I'm not sure too. I know Bailly was there and everything, but Fred wasn't there, so it's going to be a new experience. McTominay, too, new experience there. So it's just going to be, I want to see how we prepare towards the final, because let's face it, both our manager and our captain are inexperienced when it comes to managing finals and playing the finals too. So I want to really see how it is. Unai Emery, he was there with us now, he lost it. So at least he got kind of the experience to kind of be there. But I just hope we get there. We just literally cut the mistake. I know how we're going to go. We're going to sit back tight, not give them kind of too much opportunities, but we got a final to look forward to, and that's what is a good thing, As I said, going forward is so important that we win this title. Once we win it, because our captain is gonna have a taste of how to win a trophy, and maybe that's gonna help him more on his a confidence level. And even to Bruno, during his interview, he said winning the Europa League don't mean nothing anyways. He said it's not enough.
It's not enough.
That's what you want to hear. He said winning is not enough. He has won the European Championship, I think he won some cups too in the Portuguese with Sporting Lisbon too. Yeah. So he knows what it means to win a title, and he's still very hungry to kind of win more trophies too. So it'll be interesting to kind of see that. But the good thing is we are in the final. We got something to look forward to. Arsenal, like always, bottle all English Europa League. But then again, you expect that from them anyways,
You're right, Lindelof and Fred, they haven't won.
Yeah, they haven't won it. And Maguire too. So 3 of our backline
Not at
have not
United
won
anyway.
no trophy. You know, Wan-Bissaka hasn't, Lindelof hasn't, and Maguire hasn't too.
They've done it at their respective clubs. I mean, like Lindelof would have done it at Benfica and stuff like that.
But not with like Man United like that, you know. So it's just a very inexperienced to it, and our manager too. I feel like our preparation towards the finals is going to be very, very important, and I hope between now and the end of the season, because our last game is on a Sunday, and the Europa League 2 is literally on on a Wednesday. And our last game, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's against Wolves. Yeah. And I feel like we are trying to this unbeaten record away thing. Like, you know, just leave that, because that Sunday game, I feel like the players need to rest. Just play the youth. I don't care what the scoreline is, you know. Don't be playing Maguire and them lost on the Sunday just so that they can go play on a Wednesday. Because I tell you what, Villarreal ain't going to do that. They're going to rest their players. They are literally going to rest their players, make sure they are good, because they're not getting to the top 4 in their league. They're not. Their only way to the Champions League is through that. Fresh leg is going to be key. It's going to be fresh leg going to be key.
We need to keep our last game,
fit.
We need to keep
them back to back game and stuff like that. Like in the next few weeks, so you're going to do back to back games, and then you're going to play them on a Sunday, and then they're going to play on a Wednesday, and we have to travel. I'm not sure what country the final is to, but we have to do all this traveling. Just rest them, mate. Just rest them, literally.
Yeah. I do think it's going to be an interesting final, because obviously I would prefer to play Villarreal than Arsenal, because Arsenal's a bit of a banana skin. Their Achilles heel for some reason, especially under Arteta. But at the same time, in the same breath, Villarreal's a funny team, because you've got Unai Emery. He loves this tournament. He loves this trophy. You know, they've got experience in this sort of tournament, and Manchester United are there, where we've got only one trophy under our belt, significant trophy since, you know, what some would say significant Europa League since Fergie left. Then there's obviously the FA Cup, you know, but so it's gonna be a test for us. It really is gonna be a test to us to see if we can get over the line, you know, because Oli hasn't won anything significant like that versus someone who has, and a team that's very unexperienced as well versus a team that's kind of, you know, it's gonna be an interesting thing. But we'll see how that game pans out, man. But you know what's funny though? I have to touch on it. You know, it won't be a Man United show if I don't touch on this. Look. Everyone was screaming, you know, this is going to be an all-English final, and then someone decided to do Brexit on their own, and then leave the tournament, leave European football by themselves. What happened to Arsenal, bro?
I don't know, but you know what? In the last few minutes, to be honest with you, I didn't even see the Roma third goal. I did not see it, because in the next 15 minutes, I say, look, Arsenal games now. Let me just go do some scouting for Ole, because I know my boy Ole is gonna call me to just ask me for some tactical things. So I said, let me just go watch the game. The minute I turned the TV, I saw that he took Aubameyang off, and then he bring Lacazette. I'm thinking, is this guy serious? Like, you are looking for a goal, you know? And then you took your striker off. I don't care if he hasn't played for very long. You leave him on. You need one goal. You leave it on.
Apparently, he lost 4 kg.
I'm just sorry. And you know what? They didn't even, like, it was very comfortable for Villarreal. Like, for the last 15 minutes, you would have thought that they were the one looking for a goal. And Arsenal wasn't. It was just very calm for them. I don't know, but I feel like Arsenal, they just done out here. Like, they just done. It would take them at least 4 or 5 years to get into the top 4, or even the Europa League to win it. Because right now, their manager is just not good enough to do whatever he needs to do with these players. A lot of the smaller teams are improving. West Ham is improving. I feel like Tottenham got good players too. You know, you go to Chelsea, you go to Liverpool. So I don't know where to go from there.
It's going to be crazy. This season, right, is a big hit for them. Them not making Europe. Can they make Europa League, or can they make Europa League?
Mate, they cannot make the Europa League even if they put you on a plate for them. It's just impossible. Literally, it's just impossible. Look, because I was gonna start with, there was gonna be all this math that we're gonna do, because obviously it's gonna be Chelsea versus Man City, and we were thinking it was gonna be Man United versus Arsenal there. So I was gonna feel like, is it a case that there might be 6 English team in the Champions League? Because remember, if Chelsea failed to get into the top 4, but they still cannot get inside, and then say West Ham get it, and then Chelsea win the Champions League. Winner of the Champions League get a place in the Champions League. And what if Arsenal also won it and Man United didn't win it too? That means Arsenal get it. So in some cases, whoever get 4th might not get like the Champions League, you know? So I was just doing all this maths and everything, but then, look, Arsenal ain't even going to be there, so we ain't even going to bother about that whole kind of like maths. But I feel for their fans, you know? I feel for their fans. They want their manager out and everything. And that's what Oli said a few weeks ago, like just because you win a trophy, don't show progression. Because remember, Arteta has won the FA Cup. Yes. You know, he won the FA Cup and everybody saying like Oli hasn't won it. But I rather the position we are in now than if we won the FA Cup a few last season, you know. I really do.
Look, I was literally sitting there thinking, before I even did this video, like in the group with some of the guys, thinking, you know, what Arsenal player can actually make it into this starting lineup of Manchester United? And it was very difficult to think of one. There was the argument of Thomas Partey, right? And that was like, he's a quality player and we know what he's done at Atletico Madrid. But even then I was thinking, you know, like the part, am I judging it based on the part? Fred obviously is, you know, they don't work there. Yeah. Am I judging it based off that and the fact that Partey of his history or what he's actually doing in the Premier League now? Because what he's actually doing in the Premier League now, I haven't seen fireworks, in all honesty. Like, it's not me like hating on anything like that. It's just he's had the odd 1 or 2 games and he's looked really good, and I know he's got the quality and I know he's talented, but he's been injured quite a lot of the time. He hasn't really hit the blocks of running, and maybe that's probably because of the stop-starts, you know, or the quality that he has around him, or whatever it is. I just don't feel like he's hit the ground running. So for me, I'm just like, he was probably the only arguable one anyway, but there was nobody else. I mean, Aubameyang was a shoo-in. Now
there is nobody else. That shows you how much they are falling, because they had all this, like, I don't know, they didn't have enough money, but that is a problem right now that the big teams are facing, even all over the world. Recruitment is very, very key in football these days, you know. It's not like back in the day where players used to kind of like come to the club because of your name. Now it's not like that. You know, recruitment is very key. We have had that problem where we always buy wrong, and that's why our squad has never, just the last few seasons where Ole came in, that's when we are actually kind of like buying right. Arsenal have just been buying wrong for a very long time. I think the last decent player that they signed was Aubameyang, and Wenger signed that. Wenger signed him, you know. Una Emery came, I don't remember who he signed, but they just squad there. It just tell you, and it will be hard. Like, who did they even go by next season to even improve the squad? You don't even know what they need. That's the thing.
I heard they're looking at a wide man, so Brandt. I think they're looking at the Bayern Leverkusen guy, Brandt.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Even if you get that, their backline is poor. David Luiz is getting old, so he's not that. Then they got that guy Gabriel or whatever he is. He's Brazilian. You know that guy is just here chilling. You know, he's chill. Probably gonna call Neymar to go party somewhere. So he's just chilling. William too. That they go William on a big wage too. It hasn't worked. William was their Cavani, because we got Cavani on the free. They go William on the free. And I feel like their wages are pretty much the same. That they are paying William or the same as what we are paying him. William has literally kind of like failed. Their youngsters too. They're putting too much pressure on their youngsters, you know. Saka is very good too, but you compare Saka to how Marcus Rashford used to be like 4 years ago. They cannot carry a team, you know. They cannot carry a team. So I fear for them. But thank God I don't support them and I support Man United, mate.
I've just Googled, he's on 192k, and I think per week, and I think Cavani's maybe on 200 and.
Yeah, but it's not far off.
20 maybe. It's not too far off. Yeah, it's not too far off.
Both of them are free, and the impact Cavani has had on us compared to, he has not had no impact on us.
I don't know if he's scored more than 2 goals or 3 goals this season.
No, he has literally just not. And that's what sometimes you have to be careful with this place when you go and you give them that kind of like contract. To be honest with you, Cavani was a bit of like a risk, but I think Cavani is like a winner, you know, his personality. He's always been a leader, even when he was at PSG. I remember he used to fight with like Neymar for like penalties and everything. So he was a leader too. And then they talk about what he do like behind the scenes, like helping the youngsters and everything. William has never been a leader, you know. Even with Chelsea and stuff like that, he was just never a leader. So that was just like a bad signing for them. So I don't know. They kind of like messed the all English final. The build up to like the final, if Arsenal was there, was gonna be like great. We have all these Arsenal people coming here arguing, but they kind of like messed it up. But anyway, hey, one English team to worry about. I say beat Villarreal, and then we face the winner of Chelsea, Man City, Super Cup. We beat them too. We're gonna have 2 trophies before the start of the season. I tell you that.
Just to wrap this up, so I mean, I was looking at it like, and this is wrapping up on Arsenal, which is funny. It's because Arsenal last transfer window was struggling to get I think they wanted Aouar and Thomas Partey, right? They wanted 2 midfielders. They didn't end up getting them there. On deadline day, they ended up getting Thomas Partey, right? Money was kind of a struggle. Now, them not qualifying for European football, whether it be Europa League or Champions League, not doing anything like that, is not going to help them in any way in terms of a transfer budget or them getting the players that they want. One, attracting the players that's going to want to play for them without European football of that sort of eliteness, when they're thinking, maybe can I just sit it out for 1 more year and play in Europa League or Champions League, wherever they are. And 2, so they're not going to be in Champions League. And 2, the money is not going to be there. There's no European football cash. So it's going to hurt them pretty bad. And I know that they've got a few guys that they kind of float, like Bellerin, like stuff. I think PSG or whoever wants him, but they're going to have to do some smart business and really get creative in terms of utilizing their assets and seeing if they can leverage those players off to raise up some capital to buy the players that they need. But I agree, I don't think guys like Brandt is enough. I really do feel like they need a squad overhaul, and it's going to take quite some time for them to be back in the mix properly.
Yeah, they do. And they need a top quality manager too, because the way
and that
they need that, because look at what Brendan Rodgers have done with like Leicester. He's made them very Leicester players and Arsenal players. You wouldn't really see that much difference in kind of like quality. If you want to kind of like compare the thing, he has coached them to make them look better, and he could probably do the same too. If he was in Arsenal, he would have coached most of the players for them to look like top players too. But I don't know whether Arteta is going to be there or not. But then nowadays too, even if you sack him, would you get? I feel like
I heard Sarri.
Is the end? Yeah, is the end
name
of
floating
Arsenal.
around.
Is the end of Arsenal.
Oh, one more thing actually before we lock it off. I heard 2 more things. So Pogba, I'm hearing that he's, there's quotes saying that he's very happy. I'm hearing journalists come out and say he's very happy. He's he's playing better than he's ever played in his whole career, even better than at Juventus. And Pogba's looking like he can see his future at Manchester United beyond his contract end date, which is all good noise and good news for us. I don't know if it's us, the media spin trying to take us Man United fans away from all of what's going on with the whole ESL and Glazers out thing, but it's all positive news from a Pogba perspective. And I do feel like it's leaning more towards him staying, which is good, because in reality, I don't see any club paying him the money that he wants. For one, he's not going to get the move, and he's not going to pay that. And I feel like he probably, I know Pogba's been trying to go for a very long time, but I do feel like the relationship that Ole's had with Pogba, how he's managed him even throughout this Raiola thing, how he's sort of isolated that sort of agent-player relationship is put him in good stead. And Pogba may just feel, you know what, even if I do sign a contract, if I get a bid and I still want to leave, Ole, you would let me leave. I feel like Ole would give him that sort of courtesy of doing it without him punishing the club and making us leave for free.
Right. And I think that would be fair, because winning the Europa League is good anyway, because not just that, it makes the players believe that Ole can win something as a manager. I feel like that's the next step about Ole. His player management is kind of like very good in like tactics, the big games. We see him done against like Pep and everything. So in terms of like tactics too, he does it very good. The next step is the blessing to believe, like, can he win something? Yeah. If he win this Europa League, say whatever you want to do, how he won it. He has won something. He's been going to semi-finals. So he is going to tell you, like, Pogba, just chill for me. You see the progress that we've done. We won the Europa. We always go to the semi-final. The next thing is, let's try doing in the Champions League. But I feel with Pogba, only 2 clubs right now that he can go. Maybe PSG, but I don't think he want to go to PSG anyway. But then again, it's his agent. They go where the money is. But I don't think PSG will try and get him, because they're trying to do Mbappe. The next thing was Juventus. Juventus will never go for him while they got Ronaldo on their wages. And Real Madrid, but I'm hearing that Zidane might even leave Real Madrid at the end of the season. That's what I'm hearing. Because remember, he wanted him when he left that summer, that season where he won the Champions League. The whole rumors kind of like went downhill, you know. So I'm hearing he's gonna go. I feel like he's gonna sign. Yeah. What will make him sign early is the transfer window, and if we win the Europa League. I won't be surprised if when they win the Europa League and then they ask him like, okay, what's the situation? Like, okay, I wouldn't be surprised saying like, oh, you know what? We're making progress, and I just want to win the title, and we will see what happens next season. I feel like once we win the cup, he will commit his future to the club. He ain't got nowhere to go anyways, though, to be honest with you.
I agree. So I'm starting to lean more towards that. Regardless, he's going to be at the club next season because it's either him leaving for free, like I said earlier, or, you know, he's signed a new contract. But either way, he's going to be at Manchester United next season.
Yeah, Bruno will not let him go nowhere.
Bruno is campaigning.
Bruno will steal his car keys and his passport. So don't worry about that. Bruno will definitely like, you're not going nowhere. You are here to help me win the Premiership, and we are going to do it together.
Yeah, I can see that because he's been coming out in the news recently talking about his relationship with Pogba and stuff, so which is good. The last thing, though, to wrap it up, is Jadon Sancho. So Jadon Sancho, I know we've discussed him, touched on his name, but rumours is coming out of I think it's a 78 million or
78 million, yeah, 78 million.
78 million being the sweet spot to acquire Jadon Sancho from Dortmund in the summer. Now, Manchester United, the question is, are we going to get that done? Do we get it done ASAP, or do we drag it out? For me, do you feel like it's worth it, 78 million now, or do you think like, you know, money should be spent elsewhere? And who? If it is elsewhere, then where and who?
I think that deal is gonna come, not just because it's gonna be money worth spending. I mean, that's Jadon Sancho is gonna add quality to the team anyway. And I feel like some of the games that we draw a lot, he can be the guy that kind of like make us nick that odd goals or there and everything. I think marketing wise, he's gonna be a great marketing too because he's gonna sell jerseys and everything. So it's gonna be easy to set aboard. I feel like they got other cheap options to buy in regards to like defenders. I feel like they got option to kind of like buy with the centre back. Today I heard that Torres guy at Villarreal, he had a very good game. I watched him like in the last 15 minutes. I heard he had a very good game today too. Yeah. So that's positive, and he probably gonna be like around like 15 million or something to get. So that's also a cheap option. So with Sancho, I think they're going to do that with Ed Woodward kind of like leaving and everything. Negotiation, as I said to you, is going to be key. Get it done early. I think Oli will just tell them to do it early, especially when we win the Europa League, you know. It's going to be like we win Europa League, we come second place. The next step after this is to challenge for the Premiership. And in order to challenge for the Premiership, any manager want their players early, ready for preseason, you know. Yeah. So I was thinking, and now they go the whole director of football, they go like a system there that they say is ready. If you go the system there, show us that this system works, you know. Dortmund got a deadline of August something, go in there, sign the player before they even go into the European Championship. Or even if anything, do what you done with, what do you call it? I don't know what player they done it with, even with Ahmed or anything. Just say Manchester United have agreed a fee with Borussia Dortmund, subject to medical. Agree the fee, and then after the European Championship, let him come, do the medical and confirm it, you know. This summer, I want everybody to take attention of Man United in terms of our transfer. Let's get our deals done early. Let's then focus on other players too. I'm hearing they might try to go for Harry Kane and everything just like that. Whether we're going to go for him, I don't care about that. Get the other deals done early, you know. Get your centre backs in. Get your Sancho deal done. Don't let it drag. They like our name in the papers because it make the stock market go up and everything, but football says it don't, and they should get the deals done early so that we can just look forward to planning for next season.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that wholeheartedly, and I think there's more to talk about with Pau Torres, and I'll probably touch on it in a transfer talk in one of our next episodes. But you know, whoever we get, I just don't want there to be any dispute about who starts. I really want it to be like, you know, we're bringing in players to replace a Lindelof or Maguire or to replace a McFred rather than us having other disputes. I think my reservations with some of the players that we're being linked with is I'm not 100% sure it's going to happen. Like, you know, who else? Declan Rice. He's a good player, decent player, but I'm not convinced that it will consistently happen when he's benching the McFreds in certain games. I'm not 100% sure like your Pau Torres is gonna consistently bench. Do you know what I mean? You might be able to get better rotation for a fact, but do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just when you're talking about your strongest team in a certain game, I'm just not 100% sure who we're linked with. Besides Jadon Sancho, I'm just not 100% certain that the players that we're linked with, Ollie's going to be like, yes.
Another player they can probably look at, obviously, we talk about speed and everything. Ramos is out of contract, so they can do a bit of like what they done with the Cavani deal too, and kind of like get him. But obviously, his wage is going to go. He's a great leader anyways too. He don't have the pace, which is what we've been crying for. But in terms of like leadership skill, he's just good. Varane too, he's also 1 year more on his contract. So if you want a world-class centre-backs, these are the two you look at,
For me, Varane, I would say.
These are the two you look at.
Yes, but Ramos has been doing this thing. When someone's been pretending like they're injured and then, they're playing pranks on you like this, and then when they're actually really injured, you don't really pay them no mind because they've been pretending and playing pranks all this time. I say that to say this because Ramos is always that guy that seems like every year or every other year he's about to leave Real Madrid, uses our name, Manchester United, gets a bumper new contract. And I just feel like this is another year that Ramos is doing this whole contract dispute. He's going to get paid what he wants at the end of the day, and then we're going to move on. Varane, the jury's still out with Varane. I know he's been saying that he wants a new challenge, but for me, I don't know if that's just another marketing tool again for them to get a bumper new contract. For me, I just can't.
Well, I feel like one of them is leaving. And if we're looking for a world-class centre-back, I'll be shocked if we're not looking at one of them. I'll be shocked if we're not looking at one of them.
If you're going to change the back two permanently, that's what you need. That's what we need. But we can talk about it in the transfer wrap up. Anyway, it's your boy Firms. It's NK. This is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. That's another show from us on the wrap up of Manchester United versus Roma. We'll see you guys in the final.
Yes.
Come on. Look. I'm out.